How is the devil involved in calamity? Calamity. Calamity, a load or burden under which one is crushed, hence, misfortune, hayyah, hawwah, fall, ruin, the latter word used only in the plural, evil in essence hence, adversity, once only, Psalms 141:5, the Revised Version, British and American, wickedness. Purely an Old Testament term, signifying adversities natural, but more often those that result from wickedness or moral evil. Various kinds. 1. Folly, a foolish son, Proverbs 19:13. 2. Disease, poverty, bereavement, as in Job's experience, Job 6:2, 30:13. 3. Persecution, 2 Samuel 22:19, Psalms 18:18. 4. Divine retribution and judgment, Deuteronomy 32:35, compare ruin of the wicked, Proverbs 1:26, also Proverbs 1:27 the Revised Version, British and American, for destruction the King James Version. 5. The devastation of war, Jeremiah 46:21. 6. Adversities of any kind, Proverbs 27:10. In various religious traditions, including Christianity, the devil is often associated with chaos, temptation, and the instigation of evil. However, the connection between the devil and calamity is more nuanced and varies across different theological interpretations. It's important to note that beliefs about the devil and calamity are rooted in religious teachings, and interpretations may differ among denominations and individual believers. Divine punishment. In some theological perspectives, calamities are seen as a form of divine punishment for human disobedience or sin. The devil, often considered a tempter and agent of evil, may be indirectly associated with calamities by tempting individuals or communities to stray from righteous paths, leading to divine retribution. Spiritual warfare. Certain Christian traditions view calamities as manifestations of spiritual warfare, where the devil is perceived as actively working against humanity. Calamities are seen as part of the broader cosmic battle between good and evil, with the devil influencing events to create chaos and suffering. Testing faith. Some religious teachings suggest that calamities can serve as tests of faith. In this context, the devil may be perceived as attempting to exploit vulnerabilities in faith during times of crisis, challenging individuals or communities to remain steadfast in their beliefs despite adversity. Symbolic influence. In symbolic terms, the devil may be invoked as a representation of disorder, temptation, and malevolence that can contribute to societal or personal calamities. This metaphorical connection underscores the struggle between good and evil and the role of free will in human choices. Allegorical interpretations. Some theological interpretations view calamities through allegorical lenses, where natural disasters or societal upheavals are seen as metaphorical representations of spiritual turmoil or moral decline. The devil, as a symbol of malevolence, may be woven into these allegories to convey deeper spiritual meanings. It's crucial to recognize that not all religious traditions attribute calamities directly to the actions of the devil. Different denominations and belief systems within Christianity, as well as other religions, may have distinct views on the nature of calamities, their causes, and the role of spiritual entities in such events. Additionally, many contemporary perspectives emphasize natural and human factors in explaining calamities, drawing on scientific and sociological understandings rather than exclusively on religious interpretations. Theological complexity. Theologians within Christian traditions often grapple with the complex theological question of theodicy, the issue of reconciling the existence of a benevolent and all-powerful God with the existence of evil and suffering. In this context, calamities may be seen as part of the broader theological discussion, and the devil might be considered as an element in the complex interplay between divine will, human choices, and the fallen nature of the world. Human agency and responsibility. Some theological perspectives emphasize human agency and responsibility in calamities, focusing on the consequences of collective or individual actions. While the devil might be considered a tempter, the ultimate responsibility for calamities is often seen as resting on human choices, disobedience, or negligence. Redemptive theology. Within certain Christian traditions, calamities may be viewed through the lens of redemptive theology. In this perspective, suffering and challenges are seen as opportunities for spiritual growth, redemption, and the manifestation of God's grace. The devil, while possibly a presence in the narrative, is overshadowed by the belief in divine redemption through faith. Symbolic adversary. Some theological viewpoints interpret the devil more symbolically, representing the broader concept of an adversary or opposing force. In this context, calamities may be seen as a consequence of living in a fallen world, and the devil serves as a symbol for the struggles and challenges inherent in the human experience. Interfaith perspectives. Views on calamity and the role of the devil can vary significantly among different religious traditions. In Islam, for example, calamities are often seen as tests from God rather than attributed to the influence of a malevolent entity. Other faiths may have distinct perspectives on the relationship between supernatural forces and calamities. It's crucial to approach these interpretations with sensitivity and respect for the diversity of religious beliefs. The relationship between the devil and calamity is deeply rooted in theological frameworks, and individual believers may have nuanced and personal understandings based on their religious teachings and traditions. Dualistic perspectives. Some religious traditions embrace dualistic cosmologies, where there's a stark contrast between forces of good and evil. In such perspectives, the devil is often associated with calamities as a malevolent force actively opposing the divine. The struggle between these cosmic forces is thought to manifest in the events of the world, including natural disasters and human suffering. Eschatological themes. Calamities are often tied to eschatological themes, the study of end times or final events in religious traditions. Some believers associate certain calamities with eschatological prophecies, seeing them as signs or precursors to a larger apocalyptic event. The devil, in this context, may be seen as playing a role in the unfolding of end-time scenarios. Individual interpretations. The relationship between the devil and calamity can vary significantly at the individual level. Some believers may interpret personal hardships or challenges as manifestations of spiritual warfare, viewing the devil as a direct antagonist in their struggles. Others may emphasize personal responsibility and divine sovereignty over calamities. Historical and cultural context. The interpretation of calamities in relation to the devil often evolves within specific historical and cultural contexts. During times of social upheaval or widespread suffering, theological interpretations may shift, influencing how communities understand and attribute meaning to calamities. Contemporary theological discussions. Modern theologians engage in ongoing discussions about theodicy, evil, and calamity. Some contemporary theological perspectives move away from a direct association between the devil and specific calamities, instead focusing on the broader theological themes of redemption, love, and the mystery of God's providence in the face of suffering. Pastoral perspectives. In pastoral settings, religious leaders may address calamities by offering comfort, guidance, and support to their communities. The devil might be invoked as part of the narrative, emphasizing the importance of faith, resilience, and the communal response to adversity. Evolution of theological thought. Theological perspectives on the devil and calamity have evolved over time. While some traditions maintain a more traditional view of the devil's role in calamities, others adopt nuanced interpretations that consider the complexities of human experience, social dynamics, and the broader theological landscape, integrating science and faith. In contemporary discussions, there's an ongoing effort to integrate scientific understandings of natural disasters with theological beliefs. Many religious individuals and communities recognize the contributions of science in explaining the natural causes of calamities while also maintaining their spiritual understanding of broader cosmic and moral dimensions. These various perspectives illustrate the richness and diversity of theological thought concerning calamities and the devil. Beliefs about these matters are deeply personal and can be influenced by cultural, historical, and individual factors within religious traditions. 12 Bible verses about calamity. Most relevant verses. Isaiah 45:7. Verse concepts. The one forming light and creating darkness, causing well-being and creating calamity. I am the Lord who does all these. Psalm 18:18. Verse concepts. They confronted me in the day of my calamity, but the Lord was my stay. Lamentations 2:21. Verse concepts. On the ground in the streets lie young and old, my virgins and my young men have fallen by the sword. You have slain them in the day of your anger, you have slaughtered, not sparing. Revelation 16:18. Verse concepts. And there were flashes of lightning and sounds and peals of thunder, and there was a great earthquake, such as there had not been since man came to be upon the earth, so great an earthquake was it, and so mighty. Proverbs 1:26. Verse concepts. I will also laugh at your calamity, I will mock when your dread comes. Amos 3:6. Verse concepts. If a trumpet is blown in a city, will not the people tremble? If a calamity occurs in a city, has not the Lord done it? Job 5:19. Verse concepts. From 6 troubles he will deliver you, even in 7 evil will not touch you. Proverbs 1:26-27. I will also laugh at your calamity, I will mock when your dread comes, when your dread comes like a storm and your calamity comes like a whirlwind, when distress and anguish come upon you. Jeremiah 32:42. Verse concepts. For thus says the Lord, just as I brought all this great disaster on this people, so I am going to bring on them all the good that I am promising them. Proverbs 6:15. Verse concepts. Therefore his calamity will come suddenly, instantly he will be broken and there will be no healing. Lamentations 3:38. Verse concepts. Is it not from the mouth of the Most High that both good and ill go forth? Daniel 9:14. Verse concepts. Therefore the Lord has kept the calamity in store and brought it on us, for the Lord our God is righteous with respect to all his deeds which he has done, but we have not obeyed his voice. Days a time of judgment called a day of calamity. Deuteronomy 32:35. Verse concepts. Vengeance is mine, and retribution, in due time their foot will slip, for the day of their calamity is near, and the impending things are hastening upon them. Jeremiah 18:17. Verse concepts. Like an east wind I will scatter them before the enemy, I will show them my back and not my face in the day of their calamity. Prayer in a time of disaster. Surround us now with your grace and peace through storm or earthquake, fire or flood. By your Spirit, lift up those who have fallen, sustain those who work to rescue or rebuild, and fill us with the hope of your new creation, through Jesus Christ, our rock and Redeemer. It seems we cannot pass a day without hearing of a natural disaster destroying homes, taking lives, and devastating entire cities or lands. Being at the mercy of natural forces, we can often feel scared or distraught when facing natural disaster. In the midst of stressful storms and natural disasters, and the fear that grips us, we can still rely on a God who has been in the middle of storms before when he walked the earth. Matthew 8:23-27. No matter what natural disasters we see on the news, how much our family or friends have been affected, or whether we're weathering the phenomena of nature ourselves, we can turn to the Lord and pray for restoration and hope during these times of upheaval and anxiety. For courage during disaster, or peace to withstand disasters to come, we can lift these 4 following prayers to heaven.